I thought moving to Mexico would feel like finally arriving. Like I was orbiting in space and I finally landed. But it's more complicated than that. It's more complicated than that because I am Mexican American. I was born in the US, but my mom and my dad are from Mexico. My whole culture is Mexican. So I thought moving back to Mexico would feel like arriving and finding home and understanding my identity better. But it's not that simple. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. So if this is the first time you're here, I appreciate your time. I know that you could be watching anything else, and I appreciate you being here. So please like and subscribe if you want. If you find it in your heart, I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Basically, I have a series where I sit down and self-reflect about the lessons I've learned since my wife and I moved from New York to Mexico. So this is your first time here? Thank you. I hope this conversation brings you some sort of value. So again, the topic at hand is, what does it feel like being a Mexican American in Mexico? And quite simply, it's just challenging. I guess that's the word I can think of. It's challenging. There's days where it's easier than others. I think you don't understand how different it is being in Mexico and then just visiting Mexico, because I was born in the US, I was born in Arizona, and the good thing of where I was born and raised is that there were a lot of Latinos, a lot of Mexicans. Honestly, I think my class was like 90% Mexican, so there was always a connection to Mexico. I traveled a lot to Mexico. I always had a lot of connection to Mexico. I mean, the culture was there. My family's all Mexican. We were connected to the food, the music, football, everything. And we're proud of it. We love the heritage and the culture that we have. But again, it's different now moving here and realizing what was lost when our family made that decision to immigrate to the United States. Again, my heart is full of gratitude, right? I'm not ungrateful for that sacrifice. But the reality is there are some things we sacrifice. Like, for example, I don't know Spanish 100%. There's jokes, inside comments, history of Mexico that I have no idea, right? Because I didn't go to the school system here in Mexico and they teach you all that stuff. But again, does that mean I can't learn it? No, actually, I'm taking an initiative. I asked a couple locals any history books that they recommend me reading. There is one, I have to look up the title for it. In the editing process, I'll add the book that I found here. And in that book, it's basically a book that is given during primaria, which is like the elementary school here in Mexico. It kind of goes over the history of Mexico and everything. And I think that's a good start for me. So that's where I'm going to go. But yeah, so there's a little bit of grief, a little bit of hardship of things we lost moving to the States. And again, does that mean I'm grateful? No, I'm grateful for everything. But again, that's something that is different. Being here, there's things I just don't know. You know, I catch myself feeling like I'm not Mexican enough. And then when I'm in the States, it's just, depending what state, right? If you're in California, Arizona, there's a lot of Latinos, so it is pretty easy to feel at home. But if you go to a different state, you might not feel American enough. So that's this middle realm that I live in of these two cultures that I am, and I'm grateful for both. So that's kind of what I want to just keep digging deeper in and understanding the beauty of both, and nothing's wrong with that. So for example, there's these moments where I feel quite not Mexican enough. Like, for example, Lynette, today we went to the orthodontist, I believe is the word. Long story short, I have this all the time where Lynette is learning Spanish through a college course here in Mexico. So her Spanish is progressing amazingly, but she still needs help at moments. If there's words that she doesn't know, I'm there to try to help and translate anything she doesn't understand. So basically with the orthodontist, I basically asked, like, hey, can I go with you, go with the consultation, because just in case she doesn't understand something, I can translate. And again, a lot of people, genuinely are just curious, right? Like, oh, like, where are you from then? You're not from here. Where are you from? And I tell them that, I'm from Arizona, Lynette's, from California. But then this happens. I start defending my Mexican heritage when no one's asking me to. Like, it's a knee jerk, like this weird feeling that I don't know where it comes from. If you're a psychiatrist or whatever, feel comment below why you think I do this. But basically, like, I say that I'm Arizona, California, and then I'm like, but my family's from Mexico. Lynette and I got our Mexican citizenship, so we're Mexican, we pay our taxes. Like, where is that coming from? I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from, why I feel like I have to defend why I'm here, I don't know if it's because there's this tension between the US and Mexico, and I don't want to disrespect anybody. I don't want anyone to think that we feel like we're better than someone else, because we don't. We're grateful for anyone's time and love, and anything they will give us, we're appreciative of that. So that happens a lot, like at restaurants, coffee shops, just random people that hear our accent, hear my accent in Spanish, notice that I'm not from here, and they're like, then where you're from? And then I start defending myself that I'm Mexican, that have my Mexican citizenship, that I'm Mexicano. But yeah, do you relate with that? Is that just me? Like, if you're Mexican American and you travel to Mexico, do you feel like you do the same? I don't know. I don't know why I do that. And I guess I just don't want to disrespect anybody, and I want to acknowledge, and I understand that there's a lot of things that I didn't have to go through because I was born in the States, and I'm grateful for that. But that doesn't mean I don't appreciate or acknowledge maybe the pain or the work maybe locals have to go through. I understand, that maybe I had it easier, to a certain extent. So I just don't want to disrespect anybody. Maybe that's where it's coming from. But yeah, that's something that happens a lot. I'm defending myself, and yeah, even like going to the store at Abarrotes and I speak my Spanish is just I don't know. It's a bummer that I can't speak it as fluently as a local can, and it's okay, like I am working on it. I keep practicing it, but I just understand that it'll never be 100% because I wasn't born and raised here, and that it's okay. So again, living in Mexico now, I thought I would blend in. I am Mexican. I don't feel like I stick out, but the reality is I do, to a certain extent. Once I start speaking, I stick out like a sore thumb, and then people are asking where you're from. And yeah, I don't know. There's moments where I've been asked, or people comment like, you're not really Mexican, and that kind of hurts, right? Because then what am I? If I'm not American, I'm not Mexican, what am I? But again, no one means harm when people make those type of comments. But yeah, it's something that I'm coming to terms with. I think Lynette is better at it than I am, and I'm working on it. I think part of being human is wanting to be accepted by others. And again, like I mentioned, I just appreciate everybody and everyone's time that they give us while being here. I want to just keep learning and being curious. And I think curiosity is such a beautiful thing to keep having, to wanting to learn through other people's experiences. So that's why I've been enjoying making these videos, to self-reflect on these lessons, but also the other videos I've made, like telling people's stories, local people's stories, is something super fun, and I don't know, something beautiful that I'm grateful that I can do. So if you're a Mexican American like me and you felt these feelings before, hopefully this brings a little bit of comfort that you're not alone, that it's a struggle, but I do think there's a beauty in moving here and trying to connect with my culture, right? And understanding a little bit more all the sacrifices that were made for why I exist, so to speak. And yeah, there's so much beauty in that. But again, but at the end of the day, I think I'm proud of being Mexican American. I'm grateful for my culture, but I also am grateful that I was born in the US. Like that, there is a sense of gratitude there. I know that it's something that's opened a lot of doors for me, and I'm grateful for that. That doesn't mean I should be ashamed of that, but it is this weird dance I have to do of being grateful, but also not disrespect anybody, thinking I'm better than anybody else, because that's not true. That's not true at all. Part of being human is to keep learning, being curious and learning about your roots and where you come from and the history. And I think that's something I should do. And I think anyone should do wherever you move to, is try to learn the local history, the local pain and things people have gone through, so you can empathize with what they're feeling and hopefully help, and show some love and care for others. So that's something I'm keep self-reflecting on. I'll keep self-reflecting on it. Have you ever felt that you don't fully understand the context of people's feelings? I think that's something that I experience a lot here, is like understanding things secondhand. And I think if I was born and raised in Mexico, I would understand better what people are feeling and why they feel what they feel. So I keep trying to learn, and I think that's part of it. I think anyone who moves to any country should be doing that, wanting to learn from others. But that's the beauty of experiencing life. Be uncomfortable, and that's what we're doing. Moving here to Mexico, it is closer to home because we're from our family's from here. Like I keep defending myself, but at the same time, it's uncomfortable, right? It is different than what I'm used to or what we're used to, but nothing's wrong with that. I think that's what we need to keep learning and keep growing. So in your situation, if there's any way you could travel anywhere for long periods of time to really understand a culture, I truly encourage it. I think it brings so much self-worth and self-improvement and empathy towards others and wanting to understand what people go through. And that's something we all need. We all need empathy. We all need love. And that's something that I've come to grow and appreciate more with our move here. So like I mentioned earlier, I have arrived here in Mexico, and maybe it didn't feel like home immediately, but that's okay. I think I can be proud of being Mexican and American. I can be proud of both. I don't have to defend one over the other. I can just be grateful for both. And I'm super grateful for my mom. Thank you. I appreciate my mom. She's always commenting on my videos. I appreciate you. I love you. And I'm grateful for the sacrifices my mom made for me, for my brothers and sisters. She always made an effort when we were in the States when I was in the States growing up, to put me in schools that taught Spanish. And that's something, man, I'm so grateful for that. So grateful. And I think if you are Mexican American like me, please don't lose your Spanish. Make an effort to try to learn. I think there's beauty in that. It's like almost paying respect for what your family's done for us, or for me, for you. And I hope this brought you some value. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe. I appreciate you giving me some of your time. Again, I try to do this bi-weekly, this series, to self-reflect and learn more about my experience here. So thank you again, guys. If there's any topic you want me to discuss, this week's topic was that identity crisis that sometimes I faced, or you face when moving to a country that is technically home, and it will keep feeling like home with time. I just need to keep learning and wanting to improve and grow in relationships with the locals. So hopefully one day I will be a local. Thank you. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you on the next one.